what my appeal is that people, except when they are booked in for Kolebu, should be alive to the fact that we also have quasi-government hospitals, which we call the Allied Health Group, Cocoa Clinic, SNIT, VRA hospitals. All these are hospitals where the doctors are not on strike. We also have the SHAG hospitals, who are the Catholic hospitals, and the Christian hospitals. They are also not on strike. So we are trying to ensure that the referrals go to fully manned hospitals that can actually take the load. Because as I said earlier, a strike doesn't mean that people can suspend sickness. So where are all these people? And they're actually going out to other hospitals where they can be dealt with. We have to actually send the message that it is not only 37 and Police Hospital that have the facilities. Other hospitals have the facilities. Other hospitals, as I've said, take the National Health Insurance card. So except it's a dire emergency or the issue is one that is of a magnitude, then you go to 37 or Police Hospital. And having said that, the first port of call is to go to the nearest available hospital or clinic that can look to you. And if there's a need for referral, there will be referrals. The ambulance service is stretched and is working at a maximum capacity, and they are referring a lot of these referrals to those hospitals that I have mentioned. So in terms of contingencies, these are things that are ongoing at the moment and will continue to do so. The optimum position is for the doctors to come back. And so once again, I reiterate my appeal. And I say this not to infuriate anybody, but to state that there are deeper pictures or issues involved here. This strike is not legal, so it should not be on.
You can see the corridors are full of patients on camp beds, so a lot of admissions. The maternity, for instance, they admitted 62. This will normally take only 22 beds. So this is what we are doing. We've also asked some nurses who have finished their training and are waiting to be engaged to help us. We have a number of... yes, so what do you call it? We've called some nurses, young nurses who have finished their training, and they have volunteered to work for us. So this is another thing that is helping us cope. You could hear me at the maternity. Some of the midwives are working 12 hours instead of the 8-hour shifts, and maternity sister is virtually there 24 hours. Every time I close at 6, she's there, and when I come back in the evening, she's there. You know, so people are working around the clock.
Things generally, I would say it's okay, but I would like to correct an impression that you started by saying that tension is mounting. It's already mounted. Pressure has already mounted because of the strike action by our colleagues of the other hospitals. Yes, the situation at this particular ward is overwhelming. For want of an appropriate word, it is overwhelming. But we are still not giving up. Okay. We are about going in there, you will see. Even on the floor, we have mattresses with patients, nursing mothers, pregnant women on the floor.
Morning to you.
Morning.
Na it is your pain.
Pacha nyame ado me hoye.
Me who say waba be wo e wo 37 na oba hada ben.
Me ba enra nopa 9:30 to 10.
Na oba e ha na wada.
Me pacha ai.
From ha.
Me pacha ai.
E di ma.
E di ma me awowom. Nti ema ye ho nya e fine. Enso elam say ya wo mu nti ye twen. Me kopem say nya me be share aso.
Nanka enye strike anka henanka obako wo bai.
Enye strike ya kama wo Kaneshi Polyclinic. And so I'm a doctor and won't see. Yembra, but yes, Omunya Yamwa, no more Yamobo.
The risk of infection is increased because they are on the floors. So ideally, we wouldn't want them to be on the floors. But we are in a dangerous situation now, so that's why we are containing it.
And how do you contain the risk factor in there?
Well, by giving them prophylactic antibiotics for those that we can. But obviously, they are still exposed to a lot of risk because of the situation.
Okay, we can speak to the principal nursing officer here at the emergency unit. Good morning to you, madam. Your name?
Good morning. My name is Merido.
Merido.
Yeah. So far, since last week, the place has been really packed up. Yesterday was really very difficult. If you were to be here yesterday, you wouldn't have even get a place to stand. The place was really, 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 really tough. But with the aid of our commander, he came in and we were able to sort out, and the situation was really put into good condition. People that need not to die, you see them going down.
Did you see people die yesterday?
Yeah, we had few.
How many?
Well, yesterday it was about 3.
3 people died?
Yeah.
How come you are here because there's a strike?
Nobody must die because of an illegal strike. The strike is illegal, absolutely illegal. Let's look at the factors. Doctors ask for conditions of service. Of course, all workers deserve conditions of service. It's not like it existed and we took it away. It's the first time it's being introduced. It takes a process of negotiation to put those conditions of service in place. Even before the negotiation has ended, the GMA has taken several months to draw up their conditions of service. And then they give it to government and say, here are our demands for conditions of service. We give you up to 29th. If you don't grant it, we're going on strike. And they start a strike. Even when negotiations are taking place, the labor law says that nobody should negotiate under duress. And that is what has led us to where we've always come back to. Somebody says, oh, doctors, just give it to them. But their linkages have come to learn in the whole relativity of our pay structure. Doctors are linked to health workers, and it's not on doctors alone who are in the business of giving help to people. You have the nurses, you have the midwives, you have the x-ray technicians, you have the laboratory technicians, you have the pharmacists, you even have the cleaners. When blood drops on the ground, that cleaner who takes the mop and knows how to disinfect it and clean it in a safe manner is contributing to healthcare. We cannot single out one group of the health workers and accede to those demands. Then what of the midwives? What of the pharmacists?
The pharmacists are already on
strike. What of the cleaners? What of the other people? And then even when you get out of healthcare, what of the engineers? What of the architects? And so it's not as simple as it is. And somebody says, oh, because doctors are special, give in to them. But others, it's not about 2,800 doctors. It's about another 5,900 and something who are waiting to see what the linkages are and say, okay, you give doctors this, all right, we too are demanding this. And they can also go on strike.
But people are dying, Your Excellency.
We're taking remedial action. We're asking the doctors to go back. And I'm saying they should go back while we continue the negotiating. I think that's the only fitting.
So you've never been, government has never been serious with them all this while.
Why hasn't government been serious with them? It's not like we're not paying their salaries. We're paying their salaries and we're paying their allowances. This is not about negotiating their salaries and allowances. This is about negotiating their conditions of service that has not existed before. This is not about their conditions of service that has not existed before. It's new. Your salaries are being paid, your allowances are being paid as has been negotiated on the single spine. Additional duty hours. On some of those things, you're saying we should increase astronomically what you get. But government can give you what it has. We went to Parliament, we approved a budget, we said we're going to spend this amount on wages and salaries. If we go above that, and other agencies and other professions come and make their demands, and we go above what we budgeted for wages and salaries.
You're saying that we have demands for 2016, not really for 2015.
So why are you on strike now?
Because the budget will be prepared within 2015 and presented to Parliament.
The budget is going to be presented at the end of November. We're only in August. And so people must die until the budget is presented. It doesn't make sense. And the point is, yes, if negotiation takes place, and as I speak, negotiation on Category 2 and 3 allowances are taking place at the public joint negotiating team. And if they reach agreement, it will be factored into the budget for 2016. But nobody has gone on strike because of Category 2 and 3 allowances. And so why should we go on strike, you know, because of conditions of service? It's not like we're not paying your salaries. Every 25th you go, your salary is there, allowances. It's not the same in other countries.
Yasaba, dependable for us and I feel lucky about for us here. Brother said, Mpensenpensenmu, bro. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on doctor's issue and like I say, quick one. Yanko na chairman Ashanti Region Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Frank Ankobia. Yanjin Chimuka Krebi, and free no honor na Musa and Semka Krebi. Yaba, Abija Fire Card on what's I say, Bidi and come on. Dog, good morning. I'm to say.
Good morning.
Well, to quote our president, your strike doesn't make sense. I don't know, I didn't make sense. Mutu wana mo.
Many ameda CP. Any so frame ya no pay. Na mabutu kakra. Mewa ho kakra. Main where do you see His Excellency or your President hono ama mabutu kakra. Say it doesn't make sense. And you are president, yes, no, yet you know, on 1 year down, yes, no, the money say, Bibi, any any day. And now, Bonnie been put, assuming without admitting, say, Bonnie be any year, yes, no, Sansam with the animal. It's just unfortunate, say, or you see word, no, say, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, Papa, no. So I am bonnet crown poor, yes, no. And at this crucial time, you know, Upia can say, young Momo Diane, yes, start here, Juma, no negotiations, no coso, any adeno. And say, somebody or why, and you say, you to me can. Because, Doctor, for your Dawson, Upia name is Subain, Upia, as some way, ever money work for more. Because we feel, say, Obisa. What is due him? Dear President, so can I also didn't see that. Yenibi. At one time, Obi Baba can say, oh, you will be seeing President to the noon to say, if you see that Yenibi. And yes, Freno, say, oh, my yibi. And to say, be acquire a name so this threat, any amphasuya, a best threat. Ayama, Mekasa, and Mafom Kaka. Where's the Owa, Ayana Mudu? It's rather unfortunate. Say a cobasa na dear can say, said your no see a canon, the panic show, or near my conditions of service, maybe. Let the dear soon because other essential services are marking will be our conditions of service.
But, Doc,
yes,
the basis is illegal and it doesn't make sense. So why are you on strike? That's the basis.
Oh, maybe the say. To us, it is not illegal. If you are to no, illegal. Now, he's the first gentleman of this land. And me assure say on condone illegality. And he say, Obi, I have something you deny illegal. You feel say court or you feel say him for we acquire a namswa nipano sa illegality no. You better bring it to book and be say, so. And to say, illegal. Now it doesn't make sense. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I don't think I'll comment any more on it. I comment also.
One of your biggest challenge budget for 2016 no se mo amprem ho any mpanyimfo antrase ani nkomo amana nkohwema eni ye 2015 na wan hwe ya na nkomo na kokọ atra November say president yakasa budget nyame adma November and ho nsem for 2016 they be call parliament. And if indeed it's November adena etuate no ashase in terms of because ye wo August mu afa ni be call September akọ October akọ November. How many I'm prepared no there na amane basa.
You mean see I want say go post no shifting. Initially you say yen budget a my yen dada no. And you say from kushim na a better budget no overboard. Say. I don't be a parliament. I can one sem dada. I say they are conceding say any 2015 asem na neka. But rather 2016. If I made that Nyamia second of one say the beer ni China na casano. Not a yenokre na yeka and a propaganda be in a ye. Transfer see I didn't admit say we were referring to the 2016 budget. Yada city I was sad no say ya vindicate say and some of the bar say 2015 budget but you say too good name keka ho ni no anko yes na fi o ma admit say 2016 many asami you start ka November 2014 and ya ka everything at the point in time a buying negotiating team can say more 2 weeks the magnanimous enough and my yam can say monday 1 month not 2 weeks monday 1 month and so be a interest outside no the fact yenim say yen kwa adwuma atitia Ghana for yen na ye fam yenim pa yan ankasa yen penisa and so no ma bi any will be paying enti na ma we nyina aba na me ne 2016 budget e presenting on November no yen twan e man ko do November na ansa. So, any some more catching and say, you pass here to 2015 budget. The same thing, no matter catching our 2017, our 2016. International said this is a good enough time because we have 7 notice in November 2014. It's the idea.
But Dr. Nkobia, more how saying, just like has been stated by the Labour Minister and that of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say, go join the public services negotiation team on issues of conditions of service. Other than Mpensenpensenmu,
you mean you have category 2 and 3 allowances. Sad joint team, no. A amorphous groups be including the essential services. Now the TN say since 2010, no. Almost categorization, harmonization, almost to me. Many Americans say this year is only when you in sense me start here. And almost here. Not the whole of this year, they have not met. And the amorphous group will be here, sir. Meanwhile, we know about our conditions of service. No? Know what conditions of service. You determine on conditions of service. You have group in the Kobai. Almost to work with the conditions of service. And as the president said, it means that you need be. It's a formal said, you're a genuine case. I didn't do your conditions of service here. You got now, public services joint committee. Now, and a young your conditions of service. When man nipa no no to if you know the conditions of service, they are defined for him. And see, I think nobody determine doctors. The truth is that we also need conditions of service. And see, I buy and I am the employer. Nien trust nien care conditions of service. Man for me a third group will be on your employer. A third group on my majuma. Man for me so no na menen nkoka. I didn't see that buying person on yeka. Almost titi wono, almost conditions of service. Here they see maybe. You need be kwa to say the excellency no akaya no ebi see that enti adentina abana your employer no oni entrance na yenka no dey go say committee no sa third party and no enti ase
I see. But Aaron Kobia, as it stands now, the position of government and the negotiating team, no, and no other through His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is being firmed up. Get back to work and let's renegotiate. We are ready to comply as my deadline no SC China. We are ready.
Minya, or say yanko back and koyeguma. Now yanko negotiating table. Hey, negotiations no. Ya so committed to negotiations. Ghana phone you're professionals. In fact, there are times when we are called on Sunday. But of course, Dr. For you're Juma, Debia, and I do, and you're Juma, Debia. And it's often the other friend negotiations, you do super pepe. Said you call negotiations, your documents near the Likino, near the big count, you're professionals, you're leaky. Government side document biada yenye bikwada na se woni obi negotiate na sa good faith no one negotiate in good faith a better na nipa no ajiwato me no to ye negotiations na me proposals one liki akwa one thing next time a bad kwa me no team negotiate kwa me say odi bibia hye ho enti ene next time I say dey apeke no bia be shobi because the documents in our leaky. One right for breach of trust. And very, very crucial. Emma negotiations be so into say you're negotiating in good faith. Yeah, we have done that throughout the negotiations. Now we know be negotiating up misro say be beba. And then I'm at them who can negotiate. Okay, we are ready to negotiate. Doctor, and we repeated it several times. To government, say, you're ready, say, you better negotiate.
Okay, Dr. Frank Ankobia, the Krano, there are suggestions open up to government from Ghanaians, issues about Cuban doctors, issues about retired doctors, issues about kids say, you are insensitive to the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian, into no Monko, na you recruit new doctors. When you sit back against the president and negotiating team, so you're not demonstrating now. This answer is free. Ghana for binim whole bar. A doctor for no amateur channel. How do you feel?
You mean because as a address issue issue no one doctors do we deserve conditions of service? Say Juma, employer or from November, strike November 2014. Juma, negotiate. Do we deserve conditions of service? All essential services groups, our conditions of service. Do we deserve one? Fine. Say, Okofa doctors say, well, outside Cuban doctors, no one mobile. Say, you're free. You give them some conditions of service. It's why it's a wow, at the Ghana Muha, young Ghana for Unity. Next, my conditions of service. And to say, a banner by per se, or Kofa Cuban trained doctors. He's an employer. Yenishaka. Or Cassa, may you munity, Ebenezer say, Bosome so in Kiakai. You reach me up by all Akoso Bainsa, say, Tintina, they be to me. Yet, only employer no. Na say, Uber tools no, Egu. One sooner could not consist of the Abeshema, and only a dear outside buying share. Yet to me decided they are buying it. Yet the answer say, yes, say, my conditions of service. And the story ends.
Okay, Dr. Frank Ankobia, Chairman, GMA, Ashanti Region, you may be a cracker, but Nami Admechna, more phases, no, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, final lap, phase 4, Echna, Anna Ebaso. You are still stating emphatically, say, you are standing by Mpensenpensenmu Maka, say you are holding on, and this time withdrawing all emergency services and getting off and block now.
Yo, Minya, Medase, Yahu in Sama Koso, Yahu Nipa Bibri, Christian Council, Peace Council, Obia and Sama Wakatre. Yansuso I call for negotiation. Ye the Koto Council and him, your council, the National Executive Council and him Okoforidia. And the council say, Obi end to me take a decision, and money uncle. Doctors in Jumuto. And she in your Sanko Shiao China one crime. Near ye design some betuja. Negotiating team, and some see in your betuja. And some a month worker, actually in Christian Council, Peace Council, the Omokatri in a boom atuja. Naya share, and then take a decision on. And see, and say, I expected, say, all stakeholders, any adina, Bayeti, Ashaye, say a compo, na appeals, various appeals are being adina. But if His Excellency comes on air in this position, na sama ebi ankrofo mpo madua ye omo senka omo ye be appeal to your colleagues near ade to consider these things, and it keeps those people in a position there to go and argue on the floor of the General Assembly. It will become difficult. It's Mesre o mampani ene abamufo ne adigina nkobia anya time emayeni what can happen or what will happen tomorrow.
I see. Dr. Frank Ankobia, but as a medical doctor, probably in your free times, I recommend to you Uko a Ghana BET award winner and then artist of the year, Stone Boy. Nenyon ba kode ba fira ko. Na in your solemn moments, kotie and sema or the mini and yomono. Na mampayinsu ninkomodi was a san yomono. Ana odidi ase ya edana koma so panti jibre na
me pacho manti honi ye
jibre yomono your friend of Ba Fira Stone Boy BET award winner ana artist of the year Ghana nti ne kopesa ne yomono Ba Fira na mampayinsu na edana koma so odidi asa. Now, carefully listen to insema I want you now also for the asabi. Yeah, that's an pay Dr. Frank Ankobia. All right, John Body, a national organizer, man. I had a new patriotic party. What I see, John Akwaba, never boko there.
My feel. My feel,
Bibi, come
on. My branch is me who the church. Politics, mama. Yay!
Who's your husband?
Just like it out.
Oh,
politics. Oh,
I see. Bibi, come on here.
Bibi, yeah. Only some shitting to me. Me, new opinion. Friend Kofi Boydu.
Oh,
your talents, a day before I hear Prime Minister, and now car baby. A Bible and our Chinamisan Koy, but a year next week.
Okay.
Then you wake him was for
then
you wake Friday.
Okay.
Saturday now.
Okay.
As part of last Sunday, I ate Thanksgiving service.
Okay. Well, already had a phone, and then on one. Minister Kaka. Is it true that all the people be called?
No cray. Over Kaya, you call talents by wow processes name my course to be brave. But some of them over watching it on the because I agree AD anyone AD. The mestre media for no say. In some of them better ebia back from John Boydu and Kasa, but your checks. We only pana if you're doing near my Adene Brown. Ebia yaw been a banimu at that time or the amount. Hebia now and shed out on no pool and check it. So never change. Republic newspaper almost true BB send me my pocket 630,000 Ghana cedis yeah they call by election or talency na no na can honey lose you no I just say me any papone virtually
your aim is as national organizer present could be
me any papone me say we me say endome party You understand? One fancy wha. No say sa sika na me de share me bottom no. Na me de akoto car. Santa Fe say on no die car bi. Me de for $43,000. Akoto car. No car beef car white beef fair no de me picture. Just a picture no nyasa get all their farm. Me catch it all. Yes, nyasa we but the kind of emotional hater I do obi to me from Adam for cry. Sometimes it's time to believe. Say, no, masaka no we home am interemu kakra. And as I grow, but it tells you what it is because baby I be call about some social gathering bia obi obeba me hu bia as a fair obi, and I think say it's unfortunate. Me no there may pay one is to clear my name say never me my party you may ya 77 ne it's not about 8 years so I was a national youth organizer. No minister can say John Boydupo man 1 liter of petrol. Never ever. You understand? Me tonight. It's a fair opposition that yeah boy one na bibisa. Na enclare wo court because Abranti and crime say any so and so ade papa. E buy immediately me friend no. Say David Tamaklo minimum. Nti assume imposo be abrobia. Friend me be some say no crap. Na can say even car no o chire company amekoto no. Say no dey ama agro na yede. Say me koto ho dey records e wo ho e chire say mabedi car bi po. Say mabedi car no po. And our company who say me twemu wo ho nkra at least up to me prove or court Ghana fo nyina ebe hu de koy yedema me lawyer Friday no file wo court until Monday ya hwehwe na me bail friend na we share me 9 am obeko no ni ho we share me ha say the bail na ka kire me say as part of process no or per 3 days continuous on the tosso na sa obeko back to court no akoje order bi minim de omote no de abetare the office na no na within days so ama eno so ho me am say Martin radio so no dwa de do say
so serve bibia
bebe se 15 na sa na bailiff HCJ nti me kire no bailiff ne frɛ no ne kasa de bia enro ma no 9 anopa otwen ya ankosiaga no man 3 enwumre be na nansan so saa okotena na office twen na ne nsanka no de mesre no se ana office me ana me de ma no ya na santi mesre no Republic newspaper de mesre no na onje se o dwa na num se o be shia me court I have no difficulty but me no minia me nya bibi because mo dwa mo ye delegate muni ho aye ni ho so yen ni ho kra mo betima aye mo adwuma nti ade ye nyina as especially politicians we should be collaborating, we should be helping each other but ekoba ne say nipa no aye na dwen say o pese o say udin a na no de me ngini say me bibia medu nya afi na me cause say boy say mo nkobo no na bibisa nti baby a decent place a ubetumi ate udin no
all right
it's unfortunate
ebiato ida okujina Nikrum Training College okoka se Buhari the old he was oh my
sometimes then a bit small
good it's true
you see there ya woman say on say over patch you see no kodada typical example and so my wife na I buy so name no be send a picture no with the car to the WhatsApp so inti me wo no friends na car ya so akoto no na dey akosi infa that's me makoto car wherever the no na that be aka chance say e be makoto akoma me girlfriend you can imagine there's
and also domestic pressures
very terrible
okay so that's it but it doesn't mean that as we are collaborating we should blackmail and we should also destroy people's hard-won reputation. See the minister there making a buy no you're comfortable. Or tell you no person. So my fa umpo kranka I had for cry. It well, I think to all of us.
I say secret tape be that Kufod. Parliamentarians who's a mobile the fourth session and seventh session of this parliament for anything session.
Oh
yes. On by a induction program be a man as a party. Now about 4 or 5 months ago, a week before a year one good demonstration. Parliament, members of parliament, members of 123, plus national officers and few leaders of the party in Asia. Broad discussion, any security, capital view, all security meeting. Discussion, looking at parliament, what they need to do, minority leadership in parliament, briefly, and also how to structure our campaign and our relationship with parliament. Many maybe I was say and I see secret meeting and I'm a but it is no secret. I mean, secret meeting. I say anything.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Era Stephen Kwakusu, and I know Mary, and I feel a year and Kwadani na Evelyn who's Mrs. Moshe Damasi. Now, what now? Mobile for 5 billion. Oh, also now, so about on can was first Kennedy. I don't meet you. But I see also,
no, John Ekin say, see, no problem, many media no one say. A jabby be a big politician. But hey, the Chrome Bridge be your federal engineer. I wire your mom district. Something. Bridge be boo or what? My friend. The federal engineer now what assembly how you do man. Only bedding be only pressure because I'm fan. Assembly super near a politician. Me do my Minister of Water and Resources. Sabe, me engineer. Technical aspect. Meaning, and so why I say, oh, alum problem be near from. One can I say on you there are people who understand the issues. No, I'm a boy. Oh, there are people who actually it's their duty to make sure say Sanya money now it's in place.
Technocrats
because some bar, young friend no. So and fan. Because some bar ever fresh. No, as some way. Now, Mpensenpensenmu because as some no court here. Nipa 4 DFO coordinating director and a school land revenue a land accountant you we are 5 billion. I'm not to make 2.5 billion. But I'm some
250,000.
There's
250,000. 500,000. That same person, no, I want to mra. And so confirm. Just a time. But Senamakano, there will be in a phone but also secondary court. A more court data. Okay. Security agents.
Nana Adodankwa Kufuado urges government doctors to return to negotiating table. And I read, for nearly 2 weeks now, the people of Ghana have looked on helplessly and been in a state of extreme anxiety as the healthcare system under a lot of strain has almost shut down with a strike by medical doctors. A strike action by members of the Ghana Medical Association affects the majority of citizens as it is the GMA members who are the doctors in the public hospitals on which we all rely for health needs. This strike has been occasioned by the breakdown in the negotiations between the government and the GMA over the conditions of service for medical doctors. It is most unfortunate that these negotiations should not have been allowed to degenerate into the lack of confidence and display of bad faith that will lead to a strike. It goes without much argument that medical doctors as a group of professionals do not easily resort to strike action. And it is important that all those who seek to comment on the problem, especially those who speak on behalf of government, avoid the name-calling that has characterized government's handling of the dispute so far. It is absurd that some members of government are seeking to politicize this strike by portraying the MPP as being the instigators. It is an insult to the intelligence and integrity of thousands of doctors in this country. The only path to a resolution of the problem is for both parties to return to the negotiation table. The doctors are negotiating to get the best terms of possible, the best terms of possible, which is possible for their members, but they are not unreasonably, nor they are economically illiterate. They are not unaware of the dire economic situation that Ghana is in as a result of the reckless mismanagement by this government. It is for this reason that they have stated that their proposals are for the 2016 budget. And there's a call from Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, flag bearer, New Patriotic Party, urging government and doctors to return to the negotiation table. And now His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Okasai. Minister.
Yeah, Edikanometia Amatifo. I'm on for Mutio Bodi Messing. Say, me as a Muyabano, there are fundamental issues that I was saying in ITS. And the first thing is, I mean, as a matter of principle, Ubia Jitumu say, I was saying my doctors, condition of service. I mean, fair one, of course. About Nipabian, how I can say they don't deserve condition of service. One penny, maybe over Casabiano, I am emphatic say, yes, another crowd can say, I do a being see that Omuni be. And sir request we are making over 70 years. Ghana Medical Association about Ghana, Omunya condition of service be and as a country, no, we have agreed as a matter of principle that Omunya condition of service. Now, in fact, Maniaji, Doctor now interview no, from Kumasi.
Frank Ankobia.
Frank, no. I think I was so happy in the way Okasai. I mean, I'm on Penasamo Canada. I used to say, it doesn't make sense. No? We used to in contest. In say, it make a country of visa stupid. Nanipano and the who say, and another vein, what country of visa stupid, overtaking is serious. Now, on the same who say, what do you mean cry? I had to do. I said, I'm afraid, what do you mean? I said, men of what do you mean? I said, what did you attempt to say? I had to do. But you can say, what do you mean to somebody? Then the panel will say, what did not happen? Over to me, you do the same word, and what do you mean? The panel will take him for it. I think the president was talking about the legal aspect of that strike with. You know, the Marana Ebu Oman. Labor Act in erogate the conduct of workers or employees and employers or Labor Act now classify group people say provide essential services. And therefore, anyone say strike. Ghana for this is what we have. Now, sir, groups now are more for under that category, no, Dr. Fokan, a soldier for, police for, I mean, ECG for, Ghana Water Company for. You can imagine the Ghana Water Company strike 1 week. In your mind, oh, I don't see a Maranankasano in its wisdom, no, I say my monk strike. Fine, as I've said, no, we agree, say, Muhia condition of service. Now, negotiation has started. Forget about say started in November because we are talking about 70 years since the existence of GMB. Omunya condition of service. That what you say? I am more referred to as starting November. It didn't start from November. 60 years, 70 years ago. I mean, a FBA, me sure say I champion time Omokai, Limam time Omokai, Buzi at Omokai, President Lawrence Omokai, President Kufoto Omokai. Professor Musta Mokai. I'm sure say every government to Ababiano. Just before I put that request before them. And he didn't start from November. Fine. And I buy no say, okay, and chance it. What the proposals about. And what I disagree with Nana, the comment say, strike is a result of breaking down of negotiations. Almost at a strike, the negotiations started. I don't see what I want to say about this matter, and fine, a lot of Ghanaians are calling on doctors say and some decision. The president did it yesterday, and Nanado adding his voice is welcomed. I believe and I get a sense from the doctor now. Frank say, they will consider the request made by the President of the Republic, the request made by the Peace Council, the request made by Christian Council, and the request Abba Sia from Nanado. I think, I mean, these are the leaders we have in this country. And assemblies, these are the people who follow. But I'm sure as Ghanaians, the doctors, they will take all these police on board tomorrow. Now, say, fine. Abayan say it's ready to continue with it. I mean, even it's ongoing. Negotiation is still ongoing. And I don't know. I had to say, what country seconds will become home? No, that system, I mean, and Jerry, I don't think yesterday they should go back. Government is ready and is prepared to sit down with them. The Omanka send him, say, Omu propose Omu buy, and they are because whatever government will agree with them, should be what can be contained, given our larger economic situation. And another president so can be here. Among for Donald cost. If we say we are just talking about 2,800 or so medical doctors in the public, and just are there way Dr. Ford, go through per midwives, nurses association, pharmacists, or public, they will come. Laboratory technicians, they will come. Every group now, Utah Beba, Nagrat Beba, Nat Beba. So let's ask ourselves, given our economic situation now, I think that is all about the negotiation of Kosovo. And the doctor now can say, okay, mama, maybe 100 gallons petrol a day, and I say 2 days. Now, by answer the counter proposal. Yes, we deserve 100. No, Abosona wo hono. Enti mi
100.
100 no. Yema 3. No. 3 there is that. Then we jojo and how the day we come to level parties ni na bayeden very satisfied. Oh, areba ko a omompanyina ka the full say nyina wo say yema yani ko hu. Nyina amni bia iketi sa problem no. Elections be ba. I am making demands.
Those demands are legitimate and unreasonable.
Huh?
Those demands in the election the by making, are they legitimate or unreasonable?
Ebi say doctors here can reasonable to me. Say doctors condition of service, but the levels no. It's why I'm very careful. Also, because of pressures, political pressure here and there, let me succumb. Then we are saying, Ekabubro. And elections be running through all government. Election we are first budget, deficit out of a banner. Now to move clearly say, demand be last year 2012, 2012, and almost all the workers in the public sector were brought into the single span. Single span was only started by 3 years, somewhere 2011, 2010 was silent. Now, Obia, 2012, no arrears from 2010. No more. No more. And every year, now I disorganize everything. In the end, I have fundamental to sustainability of our economy. about affecting all the indicators, everything. I don't see, yes, sir, doctors for no. In our medical school. I believe, say, Naomi Sabe, and you for themselves in Kwan. And Omanos will agree, say, we will give them condition of service. Omunya na any abandoned transit. Let's agree on a quiet breakfast. Omu condition of service in the inflation, NG, depreciation, air affecting. So that a year once the kura, over to media, dear, than say, over so much. I don't do the mouth cry. Economy no fundamentals no. I say no. When to me find your free. And I am only appealing say, Senator Mpensenpensenmu, I can't do that. Let's respect the laws. Let's go back and work. Ghana for me sure say Sabri Ghana for in any say abano say omunko na yankasa. Omunyo omode no. Na yen hwe na aban so ebeye. All right. So that it me as civil lives. Intermediate, the mechanic say, I mean, as I've said, nobody. Minji say, I buy any pabiaka say, no more requests, no, I mean, reasonable. And I say, illogical. No. There is a fundamental problem, and sir request goes on. Omoya fibia sa over 60 years. Omunya. Omompanyin say, Adubro, ni tam. We make sure say, Obama doctors condition of service. Let him say that. Let's assess patients. All right. And I believe he said the course, various courses from various quarters, from the president, from Peace Council, from Catholic Bishops Conference, and traditional rulers, our political leaders, and another kind of thing. I believe, say, and I'm certain, say, they will take all these, on board. All right. Now, Senator Mpensenpensenmu, Ashebo said, we are ready to continue with the negotiation, but go back. They will take that line.
1760. Yeah, the dependable herbal home for us. One Indra Bajaso, maybe one dance here, na afi lucky herbal for so Bajaso. When I say, Joanna Company Fiada, a day in Mpensenpensenmu, Ebro. But o text message line for Adrian Chebre 1760 into Major Branking came out. John Bodu, a national organizer, Manu Patriotic Party. John, Dr. Fonsemi, Osha, as a mining moon, Titru, your Jenibesha Banship Kani, any negotiation team, any a doctor for no, said yes, ya crack, some I do some paper, so and what's about to say?
You may say, I'm say, doctor for a group of people, and Nipekua, Omohasamba. So, my son will more say when you move. They also, and say, Bob Chomon go back one strike. Because of how essential and it's be our humanity eternal. I will say, we have all efforts to get them back. And so, what shall some no aka? So, it's a major area. No interest other professions in here. And sometimes we just to confuse the argument, just to let them feel say if you are almost unreasonable. In some area, Kenya, sa kind of discussion, a creating impression so almost any pabone for. Ya bre omo, they are no pay. So we criticize impression and media. You see, idea on mine a chichire. And ye chichire on mine no, ye ma examples are that chibino, ye nu ye home. Say we are part of governance. One obi one negotiation. As part of the negotiation, more so much team documents there. Ye negotiation there. Discussion ye be biano enka baby ye negotiation. Na ye gusu ye negotiation. Enye se be mu media foi na ye leaky ade ne ma mo. Obi a oye presidential staffer. a oye adwuma wa ben mu no the tune in Facebook the doctors need demand yema omu say na de emi ya wa asem no mu ene say aban soafo a odi anim Haruna Edusu e ka say oh enye the position of government ene de standogbe ye no ukasa eni se si hwa o se ehu sanctions o se aban ne kire se nokre enye the position of government na ya brantia sabi na ni yatra na ni ntom a wa bem eno koyes se media for bi ene te say Solomon Kansamo MPP NDC communicators no you aban don't have to control aban can even say masa dia more can akododo but obi a oye adwuma wa aban mu a etua ne ka say aban is in negotiation na oye ade Emmanuel create the kind of problems they create here. There must be sanction. Now, and serve as deterrent. Even public reprimand. President, he can say, no. Senko otuminya kukudo kansa semno.
Say, ira standobe.
Say, ira standobe. Asema uye, wanye ni ye. So otuminya kukudro. Ekaya. Nkebe bua, unse only doctor he can say. Eya ba ko omudi no no eya ba ko a omudi no no because one hwe here doctors they relate with the ordinary person now creating impression say omo ye wicked unreasonable people nanye we no leaking narrative or ye kan ho antro kan ho no clearly tells you the thinking of them and government inability or failure to sanction him or even rebuke him openly, no. Trese, idea, NKE. Dear President Kasa, first of all, President so Nekasa said they're okay. We are politicians. Since West can connote different meaning, no. Who choose West, who choose no carefully. Give you concern. Because Ukasa will go for a strike. Apart from so say illegal, that's senseless. You can put it
doesn't make sense.
You can put it anyhow you want to put it. Me also try pa say obesisi ho fine. Which is your work. You understand as deputy minister. So kankra na nya. Also bomodin CC. Oh yeah, there try. What do you know? What do you mean? Which is good. You understand? That's what every consensus minister will do. Into why are there? But I think, say, in federal Sudan, who would mean coming America? So, into OT, who would mean coming America? So, OT America, and say, on your careful. And no. Severally, sometimes, no, a casa, no, and attempted, no, everywhere the antenna says, bro, we say, no, yet, I say, you understand? And Nipana casa. Also and especially where our president because yes ape na obi to be manewa at the end of the day I say nipa no wo na attack you but it is the state and attack na so and I think say we should not encourage that at all. The first statement and so yeah no amwa about the fact say we are because we negotiation mo not the ultimate person. And it also tells us how our institutions are not working. Because in wages and salary are similar, and yet are buying as in government or president as them. In fair wages and salaries commission, and I'm what? And it said almost it will break it down, do level and what's our buying, it tells you we have a major problem. And because we have a major problem in it, in that dear overtaking decision or kasa edimuno should be a bit more careful. For president to say, I'm not ready to spend outside the budget, as if say, go for now on your negotiation, omu bisa bibia, eye bibia broso. That's the impression you've created.
But the communicators are saying it's outrageous.
Well, but he's saying different thing. Meaning kind different thing. But I'm saying, say, I'm not looking at whether outrageous or not, because Nipano said you are there too, you also have the right to also say there be 100 gallons, no, a also do, man 50, and now can about say doctors yarea, omo come for any man, there be a bit to accept say doctor and any mammy instead of in man 9. And now you understand these are things that can always be negotiated about. And yes, sir, or the two Jana and no. The account is about even the negotiation team Nankasa. The doctors have raised concerns. It looks like a Bayankasa yet quite serious about the negotiation team. More so where a buying call for doctors in negotiation. It comes out clearly, say they don't even have the mandate to speak on anything. In the overhead and then different chairperson or a chair meeting. The next moment, a different person have a chair meeting. Yeah, we share doctors no communicate now. And it gives you who negotiation. Now it tells you that you do one grow.
Show before.
And show before who also who clearly say you do one grow. Because they cannot negotiate. Only authority be able to do anything.
But you do one grow.
There people say are sensitive person can say. So and nothing na the doctors na kind say as part of the negotiation said our buying side agree say oh remember 20 gallons of petrol. The next moment, Roman Kasa the Oma agree no, they come to change it. Oh. So, and it tells you the attitude of government in this negotiation. Say, may agree, say, oh, we ajatum, my ajatuma. The next moment, now buying the document for fraud about the sister. Oh, doctors not communicating,
but
no.
That is one-sided.
And yeah, one-sided because the Minister of Labor were responding to the Ophili say and you're correct in what they said. You understand? And he did not respond to this. And this is critical. No minister worth his salt say BBI fundamental to the negotiation. Doctors ne can want them now and yet the true reflection of what happened.
Quickly, out of it.
Quickly, when you there a delay cry. So and you no cry na one out there na just the minister doesn't ejuma eto sin kakra. You understand? I'm saying this because one, and you who commentate Aden, the health service is a major delicate and critical service because of professionals and because of the nature of professionals only negotiation you must be extremely careful, especially where you operate single spine salary structure. Single salary structure.
But John Jinahanum says single spine. Then I say, I don't know, but this particular administration, a very huge situation because that is what is collapsing. Structure. Because the Ghana phones until they are by with you can see because maybe I buy with one a Casama by winning and I may say Fapimnankasa single spine. Now, Diagora, a big chica single
spine salary structure. A structure solve two major problems. One, inequalities in salary administration. Say, Obi, a secretary or Bank of Ghana. Because of our Bank of Ghana, now the salary, 10 times will be a secretary or Ministry of Agric.
There's a parity in
it. Say, this are to solve our inequalities. No. Two, also a motivate Ubinso or Yadie. Say, Ubi, our Bank of Ghana, a secretary, mum dear. But Juma or Yano. Or ye Juma a dim faswa. The input output, higher.
So those are the allowances at the time.
Those are allowances. There was special allowances depending on the kind of job you are doing.
So it plays a major role.
A major role. There can be also where aban ankasa in his view there are certain services be a critical premium services aban person encouraging for more kosa area no nti aban to me the incentive kakraka ekoho to motivate people to move there. The makachire uchire say a very sensitive area that you and we are buying to mean that on it, because you must always be re-evaluating the inputs of workers. Indeed, maybe who say wages and salaries commission, you know, they don't have the capacity to implement what we are talking about in terms of staff, in terms of technical know-how, in terms of resources. Because I was saying almost monthly or quarterly appraisal of the OBR area. So, in any project, be implemented or the moment I be a mistake in one, at the distortions. Now, these distortions, to resolve the distortions, no.
John, my position is that doctors from Monkwana and some Monk.
And yeah, no, now,
okay, so then we needed to also know that so the president has a single spine, it didn't want to but finally, probably too much money. Honorable. You are distracting. So it's so this can't. So oh my can you are distracting. Well, it's a delicate issue. So the American, yes, cause president aye council the nanado there yeah can say they should go back. But going back alone does not solve the problem. Say I share fundamentals a bit you are maintaining second spine now going forward, you know. Yen comban sabium. Okay. You understand? And no na make sure me metranga mun go back and solve a problem. You understand? It's a very delicate issue, and I think fair wages and salaries commission need to be strengthened. All right. Ankasa. Yes, sir, your friend is saying pharmacists. Almost threatening some strike. Why? Because almost some condition of service say we 5 years ni. You renew it. 5 good years, you renew it. You understand? It is you're proactive in looking at conditions of service of various categories of workers. Now you're to be and you're proactive in it. Now sometimes not needless strike because you're acting. Okay, but finally, apart from these technicalities, no. What do you say?
No. I think that my statement actually say critical. You to me and delay one day. Says the doctor that's a woman, that's a the main concern of everybody is to get them back.
This tester seems to agree with you. Omar, let's look at the number of doctors we have in this country. They are not even enough considering the population of this country. Yet they are doing their best for the nation. How much at all will this little demand cost this nation? Hey, economics is little. Can we compare their demand to the lives of people in this country? Just last week, 3 friend doctors of mine traveled outside the country because of the unreadiness of the government to say reasonable things to their hearing. Please, the president should come again. Okay, so yeah, the basic we say about 1760 or text message line, that dependable herba home for us and a lucky herba for us. Yaba, economic situation, and what's some seed in the baby akujina, inflation baby akujina, and how this government believe is making progress relating to our economy. Yakwaba. Yabako that a dependable for us, say one of us, so Kwansun so a Democrat and Mpensenpensenmu Ebre Samson a da Lucky Herbal Clinic for us. One other remark, a Joada copy me fiada a Mpensenpensenmu ya the bro our bedroom on Adom TV. So Lucky Herbal for waiting me Dr. Yaboa Eddings also on 0243 201244 and 0277465855. I mean, some kind will be able to say dependable for to say ya de bi ada ne kran koda o so bia no o de dom mo a na wono so eboa e kwan so nkoso kra. Some of your text messages about making camera and yenko edition. So Mr. President should give us a break. He should audit or calculate the amount of money that, for example, the toll booths collect a day from each car or bus. What about our taxes? Even establishing TV taxes. So I ask them to explain what those monies are used for. Joe Kumasi and Adia. But please tell the MPP to leave the president alone. He is managing the economy to the best of his knowledge. Jane or Newtown, Anadia. But the country is facing the consequences of our votes. And also, Adam 1760, your text message line, Fabra and Angie Brankin Kama 1760. Government is on track to cut its fiscal deficit below the projected 7.5% of gross domestic product, President John Mahama has revealed. The president said a bailout deal with the International Monetary Fund is helping to control public sector spending and improving microeconomic indicators. I quote the president. We are on track after the first review of the IMF to hit 7.2%, even though our target is 7.5%. Just using first quarter numbers, we are on track to hit 7.2% deficits. So it goes on and on and on. Bottom line, government making progress to reduce spending and improve economy. John, opposition for na mo say the aban ye bia no or miscalculate or misfire or who the priorities or say sikasem or manage economy ni, and the president just spoke yesterday. Is in line with said here.
Economy money manye sebi this will be a catch us every now.
But the can you different from
this will be a catch us every now because the president can't show the dangers of overspending over the years. One share and spend within limit about how economy. It is over the years, and on a year, I mean, I was a catch it. You understand? Because you say in this, no, or no, I can't about the fact say, CCR, normal BCR, normal Jane was or mobile. So, CCR, BCR, or one limited. It tells you the dangers of over borrowing, excess borrowing, away economy. So, and who effect are in ya. Ma yesika no ahoden on nti the opposition ka the ye ka no na afi wa ben ho no so the ye ka na ya kan na osi omuntie no ye ntie obia no afi de omutie you understand because enya yen po na because one na sentem ya on se sidi no e ko sora and afi start ba form no minim se mabaha because I was asking say no cresa buying a pump $20 million in the economy in Sikana Hodeno na air cost ronana. Say yes, sir. For how long can government do that? So let me tell you. This year, no, say about 3 point something. This year do 4. Interbank exchange rate as we speak now at 3.8, 3.9. You understand? Until what is the problem? Now, who here say you be pump sasika cost to ya to do so, and what is the effect of that? Now my view really was that say a government decision to do that in order to maintain the strength of the CDR. Now, say government so how sustainable that program will be. Now, I was asking say because now authentic and authoritative statement from government. Who's not deputy minister for trade and industry as then and Okokasa. Then later the Bank of Ghana also statement looks like it was contradicting what the deputy minister for trade and industry can. Instead na me authentic na me pay if you minister for finance say is that and sometimes too in economics some of these things are critical. When you're careful now odi kotudwa and no cry now ma speculators equine to me speculate ye pa because some me a speculator Now we are buying at the $20 million betum per day for 6 months. Okay. Say interest rate, profit return relationship. Okay. Yeah. So sana be ya sikana ho den be dampen up to 6 months. The mission e ba for ma do purpose bi na top dollars no more keep. Meaning after 6 months no e be kosoro. You understand? Nti sometimes strategically no e ni say aban e ye open in some of these strategies. Ye nyina ye te ase. Sebi. Ye de dan ya ne say enema bo ayefo na okoto ade a ne bo enkosoro ntentem. Eno ne hia yen. As for the technical way ne there, you betumi ahwe. Nti me no mekansi so say president kasa ya de papa. Say ye believe within our means. Na ye sika ye dibro so no enkosoro embroso dodoa ya de papa. Say ye bobo besia na bobo besia within limits. Yankasa de ya planning ehun besia na ye bo a ye betumi a container because bi yankasa besia enye. Bobo besia na we ntumi entutu kana. Eno na efunka wo so ebro so, which is bad because this year no your debt to GDP ratio I hit 70%. The acceptable sustainable level no around 60%. Hit 70%. The acceptable sustainable those times you can say you bet you are renam na to don't pay renam no was to say now your debt to GDP ratio and do a threshold here 60%. And I'm just argument na this year you bro so ekra a dangerous level it's me a good news to me but only say unzo first quarter results and yeah they air share you hope say we'll still live within our means but that alone is not a plus or a minus depending on the economics is a very critical subject sometimes I say inflation say so inflation back for man, inflation back for man. Sometimes depending on the strategy of government, government will try to encourage inflation in order to solve certain problems. Sometimes depending on the strategy of government, there's a need to encourage overspending depending on where the spending is going. So spending they call major investment areas a war rate of returns about quickly a idea ubejatum. Nti ni nyina no ni say ni nyina no ye hu baby areas and spending na eko and a boa eye pa nti yes it's good to that is generally it is good to live within your means but depending on where the means you are talking about
but abai bit machine ho na kasa keke na no do nyre e bi wona na se den
oh sir I'm say ni na yin say the year 2013 no now deficit in here around 14%. And 14% to this figure, they quite targeted 7.5. And by the after the review, we have been told say it may achieve 7.2. And we show a record from 2013, 14%. Back down to this level now. It means I'm not and I had you can't Ghana, you run budget deficit through mankind unless maybe don't overcare and our country. President Bia, Afibi, what me around surplus budget and ultimately even balance in the budget. Offer President for 8 years in office now, every year Bia run a deficit. Now we are running deficit budget because as he said, there are some fundamental problems with our economy. And maybe America. So, indicators see inflation, CD, what does CD will appreciate or depreciate? No, that's not a kind. Then say CD no depreciate, appreciate against the major currencies. There were a group of people who were complaining.
Yeah.
In this country, exporters. We're complaining bitterly. And is that another one? Managing the economy, I acquaint, whichever way be, it leads to the benefits of but it depends on how sustainable, and how certain people can predict going into the future. Now, your problem in the first as we speak, you can't imagine people free Amazon jobs over Ghana against Eddie Free. One could turn dinner, Unyiska. What could turn woman was so sick on Edico. Into the way out, and it's our homegrown policy. Then I think so. I accept it. Say, sure, Meshay, men say free Italy. Never me, I know Kumazano. Metwa. No matter, say, quality, Metro Asha. That is how we can solve this our problem, economic fundamental problems. Say, yeah, cancer, I'm away the perfume. Then me perfume rice from Taiwan, from her. Now say, ye be more locally. Now say, you better a mono. Now you know, now you develop taste in locally rice production. You be creative employment. I'm for more into rice production. That is one way we can also develop our economy. I mean, energy problems are by nobody can say that any effects on our performance as a country. I don't think, in spite of all these things, you know, and we are making progress because we are cutting our coat according to our size. I don't think, for me, no, I see all these things. You know, I am more a business strike in some way. These are some of the areas also with me at this located economy, accretive programs. So, I don't know. I'm happy. Say borrowing a can. Now, I'm happy when John says that nobody is talking against borrowing any. But I agree that it depends on how we are using the money. I mean,
what you are using
for what purpose? And that is why Honorable Setepe he is insistent. Say, Obeje loan, make sure say you come with a choir first one. So no, I did the bayano. Best a tria. Sir, I gas a year or trouble. Say at home. It is our job to send out the year. Said projector. It will not put unnecessary pressure on your debt sustainability. What I say, if you borrow and use it to expand water systems, develop new water systems, since you're at home, and I'm a boy. If you borrow and do roads, now manto toll booths, now man for it, yeah, that money can be used to service the loan. Oh, and this is what the government is doing now. Okay. The president can say, yeah, borrow, you know, you are now being careful. No? That's what it means. Now, it's not as if we say we borrow to do anything that we want. If we borrow to go into agric, we want to find out, say, are we investing it into irrigation systems? Farmers, you know, be to water the crops, you know, so that output, you know, umbeton na money sikana. What I say? And you know, these are some of the things that we are doing. In fact, we have these problems because and I toothpick crowd did you here? What do you with some crown yakra? Common toothpick in Porto. Minumi no yet hey. Yampe locally rice, you know, yampe. Okay, perfume. I don't see and I buy no. You see on your wall about 8 farms are or more some machines in Libya or more making sure say a mona ever do and look at it no. Ombe process no. I'm a competitive too. So okay, baby.
Okay.
And and Coco why? Maybe you know, I met here and say, Kwam Dako Farms. No, Kumas. You're free a crum, never tongue kiss ya.
onye nche
efiri ekuro na betom kesua ewo ka ba ko na ye de ko da confirm na wudu ho a hwe ye kura 3 days na ye several that time if you look at it credit to musa na economic so far as sport trade is concerned kumase na ye very very na mo bia ya active nso omo mo ye adwuma no ya kodu okura ji se o fie hye chance na ya several enti no so oni patenya pressure ba na so a but next week no I am 20 enti this is what we should do. And that is what I believe we should support the president in his call for. That homegrown, question parliament. That was one. No, Ghanaian shoe.
But quick one. You got to go down to the apologies. But it's only idea when it's also the big Togo now.
Oh no. This is a project that has been on the drawing board for several years. But President Kufuor time for they have to finalize that feasibility studies. Now what is seeking to do is Sogakope African Development Bank. West African country as part of more deepening relations. African Development Bank Emma Abansika. Na ya yensio from Sugakupe to Lume.
Okay.
Now 80% of water no ever call Lume. So virtually huge sums of luna so that live along the lines from Sugakupe could do for one.
Almost for 20.
I work on a so effort 20 near distributor ammo. It's not as if it's a international project through ECOWAS.
Okay. Well, joining our conversation as you wrap up with 0302-211-701 up to 4. 0302-211-701 up to 4. John, yeah.
I mean, homegrown idea. Yes, a good policy. I will say, yes, strengthen. But Abai must take the lead. So, my team minister na okay, toothpick cry na toothpick no one manufacture better na onkoto.
Ntisa ye dia no na e kan keke.
Me say eka emo asemu ya. Your government institutions almost they prefer government institutions so they prefer to go and buy from Lebanese and Indians and all that. It is a policy by government. Government is leading because government so here purchases of oil, sugar, rice, and all that. I think that
because for instance, in the hotels, local rice.
Me say, if government leads the way, and government have opportunity to lead the way.
I don't know possibility because toothpick.
It's because we can't. I had that. Who's the way O level to import substitution product. Mr. This is a O level. Maybe I will do know you are in government. In addition, be beyond you anyway. Nyawo na many sound Mr. Na yen shese. The year cannot then be ya. You bet to me a lead the way no. Because look, I'm on produce local way no. They find it difficult selling some of their products. Abra buying wa sika wa. You bet to me they are encouraged. Inti sa way no ya dear Mr. And yet easy. Maybe you can start to say 20% of all government supplies of these products, assassino, and yet local way. Niempe monitoring team be enforce na sanctions wo. Bibia this time no, and this first I will control with your control economy. Uma bibia ambemu no. But even with a liberalized economy, there are sanctions and regulations. Deliberate policy targeted towards it. I think we are
doing something like that. I know for a fact, say, school feeding, for instance, say, I want to make sure, say, I want to locally rice. No more, I know we are doing it to some extent because it can be a policy, say, even prison service. We are secondary schools, boarding schools, feed more with right, hospitals. Don't feed them with.
And this is what we are talking about.
And you can imagine, we can't even supply them.
And I agree to that extent, sir, because nipa no produce. Because
there's ready market.
There's a ready market. When you think 1 kilogram nibo, 2 kilos are on nibo. Uncle catch new not or one chrono. And he said, you better same concept no be. Na enya and more as a nipa to or Timmy Chrome body. Let me say more bag, a ton 20 Ghana cedis. No matter the place, no. Okay,
so
yes, sir.
Let's wrap up. But 03022170.
But this thing, say, many kind of a time complaining about ID cards. I think say we need to come up. Say things.
Okay. ID card. Another mechanic say Ghana Cocoa Board. I'm distribute fertilizer. I'm sure we are free to farmers. Let's see your now, obit me, echo koji, obidi no jacoji. What you are doing now, say, okay, more forms. Oh, what the passbook, you should be able to identify yourself. And as part of registration process, no. And I want to say, 7 years, no. Passport and someone, other
national
health insurance, you know,
voter
ID card, obi. And I believe you have to call Cocoa Board for no munche chilmu.
Now I want to tell you
that is what is going on now. Actually, that is what is happening. And I don't believe you say obi card no. And Cocoa Board officer, you have to go with it. And sana machine no capture amayama fertilizer.
You see, this is what is going on. I a bit when say, who's their politics called BBM. Sa free spraying in free name over here no, not individuals a dear name no area from a particular political party.
No.
Integrate and pray. Make up the real issues. Look, calls I'm receiving, especially from your area, especially from Lubu, Jaboso, Jomoro, Elembele, Uba, the northern part of our country. Especially Brown Half, Ashanti region. Beyond that, and also, I say, I very cliche, say, loan. Beyond just agriculture. And go for air complaining.
Loan, sir.
Go for back on so you have a loan. Near JJ ID card. Not to say,
I haven't heard
yes, it's a major issue. Mijidi a Cocoa Board, and I was not happy about Cocoa Board. You raise the assembly, they decided to remain silent on it. No, which is not good. Senka almost back out. Say any project I hear.
But they've created a lot of room for suspicion.
For 1 year, no, you have to be capture data now.
Okay.
Subsequent years, no.
The president did well in promoting made in Ghana goods, but this country we give value to certificates more than technicality, and that is the cause of our low export. Lante or Kaswa, can you imagine that majority of degree and masters holders do not know how to even use tools to work, yet they are the managers of our industries and companies. This is not done in abroad. You will have to go through solid technical training from the scratch before you can even manage technical productions with that so-called masters and degrees, because that only deals with English and writings. Isaac Onungwa, let us value technical vocation and polytechnic schools and graduates, then we can build a productive nation. Janet Wabelempe and Odeba. Chobodom.
I've tried to avoid it because my name, the issues at stake and the reason.
The DC is not even on top.
You understand? The reasons. One share comment to grab it to me as any. I hope said the security agencies take control of what is happening.
But congratulations, your name has popped up as part of the campaign team for 2016, the APO papers.
You see, what my problem, and I say, campaign, campaign is a cycle, it's a process. The process of election at the polling station, electoral area, constituency, region,
campaign,
no. Yes, when they almost any quo. It means what the crown go for a man I me national organizer, make a campaign. I'm going to be critical a member of the campaign.
Make sure body movement to body.
I hope you know.
Yes, I think Master say, we shall raise in the contest with our banner for Lobia, some never reduce. Okay. Because whatever it is. Whether their names are mentioned or not, they are members of the campaign in various areas. Okay. Maybe anybody votes a few banner and your votes. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. Baby, I
think I don't have much information, but what we can appeal and say, parties, I am some, but I was young, the same family. And I've just read the regional minister no the security for alcohol. They should do whatever they can to stop it. I mean, be position any person will be who, and we are told say nipa somewhere only yesterday. I am some day the best security agencies no. And fashions and also not the bro. We are Busia until a mover in Viano and Gufam so that Benyas will be over.
Okay, Kwame Jokoto had a year response be about maybe I didn't face because say I have seen my poster on social media. Let me state that the errors have been spotted. It was actually developed by the youth in my area who think I am delaying who think I am delaying. Oh, Mama Kwame Jokoto. Who think I am delaying, but I'm delaying in releasing my poster. They picked my profile picture here without my notice and went viral. Thanks for your concern. And, you know, most of you are more correct to say parliamentary, you know, the spelling, you know, the poster, no. So, social media, and phone you down, the Takwan NDC. And I'm saying the word parliamentary, no one spelling here. Yes, and I call yes. The Kwame Jokoto the response. But Minister Dasi, you need the dining to which he said, "Mobile Titru MPP, the Omoshas, you know, we are no number the answer at Darkwa, so more. Yeah, my phone, I'm going to, but I could be quite down them some effort, Nankamudi change STS. Some of the half of that effort. Criminal. And you may call Hatcher. The ambassador me can say you, the ambassador me who say you are comforting. Yes, until we are near completion. We are in the process. Yes, we are in the process near completion. The we are now. You see, we are over 27 years. Not 3 years. I say, me now we see 12 years between you. We are personal way. Don't go in. We are in the process. There's light after the tunnel. There's light after the tunnel. Yeah, that was it.